If you understand English but your mouth becomes silent when you need to speak, this video is for you. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need thousands of words. You need one simple habit. Always try to talk in English, even when you are alone, even when you make mistakes, even when you know only a few words. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to make English a natural part of your daily life. Chapter 1. Stop waiting until your English is perfect. Many people want to speak English, but they keep waiting. They say, I will speak when my grammar becomes better. They say, I will speak when I learn more words. They say, I will speak when my pronunciation becomes perfect. But there is one big problem with this idea. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you may wait for years. You may study English every day. You may watch hundreds of videos. You may learn thousands of words. But when someone suddenly speaks to you in English, your mind may become empty. You know English, but you cannot use it. Why does this happen? Because speaking is a skill, and every skill becomes better through practice. You cannot learn speaking only by reading. You cannot become confident only by studying grammar. You have to open your mouth and speak. Even if your English is not perfect, even if you make mistakes, even if you feel nervous, speaking is not something you do after learning English. Speaking is part of learning English. Think about a person who wants to learn swimming. He buys books about swimming. He watches videos about swimming. He learns how to move his arms and legs. He understands everything about swimming. But he never enters the water. Can we call him a good swimmer? No. He has information, but he does not have the skill. English is the same. You can study grammar rules for 2 years, but if you do not speak, your mouth will not become comfortable with English. Your brain will always take too much time to find words. You may understand everything someone says, but when it is your turn to answer, you become silent. So from today, stop telling yourself, first I will learn English, then I will speak. Change this sentence. Say, I will learn English by speaking English. This small change can completely change your progress. You do not need difficult words to start. You do not need long sentences. Use the English you already know. Maybe you know only simple sentences like, I am tired, I am hungry, I need water, I am going outside, I like this, I don't understand. Please say it again. That is enough to begin. Use these simple sentences again and again. If you wake up in the morning, say, I am awake. When you look outside, say, it is a beautiful morning. When you make tea, say, I am making tea. When you start working, say, I need to finish my work. These sentences may look too easy, but do not underestimate them. Every time you speak a sentence aloud, you are training your brain to use English faster. You are also training your mouth to produce English sounds more naturally. Here is something very important. Many beginners think simple English is bad English. They believe fluent people always use difficult vocabulary. This is not true. Good communication is about being clear. If you can explain your idea with simple words, that is success. Imagine you want to say something, but you do not know the perfect word. Do not stop. Use another simple way to explain it. Suppose you forget the word expensive. You can say, it costs too much money. Maybe the sentence is longer, but your message is clear. This is exactly what good speakers do. They do not stop every time they forget one word. They find another way. Your goal is not to create the most beautiful sentence in the world. Your goal is to keep the conversation moving. And yes, you will make mistakes. You may say, "Yesterday I go to the market." Later, you may learn that the correct sentence is, "Yesterday I went to the market." That is okay. The mistake is not your enemy. The mistake is showing you what you need to learn next. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times, but nobody says, "You are terrible at walking. Stop trying." The child stands up and tries again. After many small failures, walking becomes natural. English works in the same way. Every mistake is one more step. Every wrong sentence teaches you something. The real danger is not making mistakes. The real danger is staying silent because you are afraid of mistakes. Some learners also say, "People will laugh at me." Maybe you are worried about your accent. Maybe you think someone will notice your grammar mistakes. But ask yourself one question. What is more important, improving your English or protecting yourself from a few uncomfortable moments? If you want to grow, you must accept a little discomfort. The first time you speak English, you may feel nervous. The 10th time may still feel difficult. But after 50 times, something changes. Your brain starts to understand, "I can do this." Your fear becomes smaller. Your sentences come faster. You start thinking less about every grammar rule. You simply speak. This is where confidence begins. Do not wait for confidence before you speak. This is one of the biggest secrets. Many people think, "When I become confident, I will speak English." But confidence usually comes after action, not before it. First you speak with fear, then you speak again, then you speak a little more. Slowly your fear loses power. Your confidence grows because you have proof. You can remember, "Yesterday I spoke for 1 minute. Today I asked someone a question. Last week I could not say this sentence, but today I can." Small victories build real confidence. So I want you to make a simple promise today. Do not promise that you will speak perfect English. Do not promise that you will never make mistakes. Promise something easier and more powerful. Promise that you will stop hiding from English. If you know one sentence, speak one sentence. If you know 5 sentences, speak 5 sentences. Use your English before it feels ready. Speak slowly if you need to. Pause if you forget a word. Correct yourself and continue, but do not give up. Remember this: every fluent speaker was once a beginner. They once forgot words. They once made grammar mistakes. They once felt nervous. The difference is that they continued. They kept speaking until English became easier. You can do the same. You do not need to become perfect before you start speaking. You become better because you start speaking. And in the next chapter, you will learn something even more exciting. You do not need an English teacher or speaking partner beside you all day. You can practice speaking anywhere, at any time, even when you are completely alone. Once you learn this habit, your whole day can become an English-speaking class. Chapter 2. Talk to yourself every day. In the last chapter, you learned that you should not wait until your English becomes perfect. You should start speaking with the English you already know. But now you may have one question. Who can I speak with every day? Maybe you do not have an English-speaking friend. Maybe nobody in your family speaks English. Maybe you feel shy speaking English with other people. That is completely okay, because you already have a speaking partner who is always with you. That person is you. Yes, you can talk to yourself in English, and this simple habit can make a huge difference in your speaking. Self-talk means speaking to yourself about what you are doing, what you are seeing, what you are thinking, and what you are planning. You do not need a classroom. You do not need a book. You do not even need another person. You can practice while walking, cooking, cleaning, driving, working, or sitting alone in your room. For example, when you wake up, you can say, I am awake now. I feel a little tired. I need to get up. I am going to wash my face. When you make breakfast, say, I am making tea. I need some bread. The tea is hot. I am hungry. These sentences are simple, but that is exactly why they are powerful. You are teaching your brain to connect English with your real life. Do not worry if your sentences are short. Short sentences are perfect for beginners. You are not trying to give a speech. You are training your brain to use English without translating everything first. Start with the things around you. Look around your room and describe what you see. Say, there is a table near me. My phone is on the table. The window is open. The room is quiet. I can hear a car outside. Now move to your actions. Say, I am opening my laptop. I am checking my messages. I need to finish some work. You can create dozens of speaking moments from one normal day. Here is another powerful method. Before you do something, say it in English. If you are about to leave the house, say, I am going outside now. If you are going to call someone, say, I am going to call my friend. If you are going to eat, say, I am going to have lunch. After the activity, talk about it again. Say, I finished my lunch. It was good. I called my friend. We talked for 10 minutes. In this way, one small activity gives you 2 chances to practice English. Sometimes you will forget a word. This is where many learners immediately stop speaking. Do not stop. Try to explain the word using easy English. Imagine you forget the word umbrella. Instead of becoming silent, say, it is the thing we use when it rains. If you forget the word refrigerator, you can say, it is the big cold thing where we keep food. This skill is extremely important because even fluent speakers sometimes forget words. Good speakers know how to keep talking. I want you to try a 5-minute challenge today. Go into your room, kitchen, garden, or any quiet place. Set a timer for 5 minutes and speak only English. Talk about what you can see. Talk about what happened today. Talk about what you want to do tomorrow. If you become silent, ask yourself a question. What am I doing? How do I feel? What do I need to do today? Then answer your own question. Do not judge your English. Just keep your mouth moving. At first, talking to yourself may feel strange. You may even laugh at yourself. But after a few days, it will start feeling natural. More importantly, English will stop being something that exists only inside books and videos. It will become part of your daily life. Remember, you do not need to practice for 1 hour. 5 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes while walking, 3 minutes while making tea, and 5 minutes before sleeping can give you a lot of speaking practice. Small moments become big progress when you repeat them every day. And once you become comfortable speaking English alone, the next step becomes much easier. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use simple English in real conversations without trying to sound perfect or advanced. Chapter 3. Use simple English in real conversations. Now you know that you can practice English even when you are alone. You can talk about your day, describe the things around you, and train your mouth to speak English every day. But at some point, you need to take the next step. You need to use English with real people. This is where many learners become nervous. They can speak alone, but when another person stands in front of them, their mind suddenly becomes empty. They start thinking, what if I make a mistake? What if I use the wrong word? What if my sentence sounds strange? Because of these thoughts, they stay silent. But remember this: a conversation does not need perfect English. It only needs two people who are trying to understand each other. Many beginners make one big mistake when they start speaking with other people. They try to sound too advanced. They want to use long sentences, difficult vocabulary, and perfect grammar. This creates pressure in the mind. Instead of speaking, they start building the perfect sentence inside their head. By the time the sentence is ready, the conversation has already moved forward. So from today, choose simple English. If a short sentence can explain your idea, use the short sentence. You do not need to say, "I would greatly appreciate it if you could assist me with this problem." You can simply say, "Can you help me?" Both sentences communicate the same idea. One is difficult, one is simple. As a beginner, simple English gives you speed, confidence, and freedom. Think about the conversations you have every day. Most of them are not complicated. People ask simple questions. How are you? Where are you going? What are you doing? Did you eat? Do you like this? What do you think? You can prepare yourself for these common questions. For example, if someone asks, "How are you?" do not only say, "I'm fine." Try to add one more sentence. Say, "I'm fine. I had a busy morning," or "I'm good. I feel a little tired today." That second sentence keeps the conversation moving. This is a very useful rule. Always try to add one more sentence. Imagine someone asks, "What did you do today?" You could say, "I went to work." That is correct, but the conversation can quickly end. Instead, add one more sentence. "I went to work. It was a busy day." Now the other person has something more to respond to. Maybe they will ask, "Why was it busy?" Then you can answer again. This is how conversations grow. You do not need 10 perfect sentences at once. You only need one sentence, then one more sentence, then another. Questions are also one of the best tools for beginners. When you do not know what to say, ask a simple question. Questions remove some pressure from you because they give the other person a chance to speak. You can say, "Really? Why? What happened? Do you like it? When did you start? Where did you go? How was it?" These are small questions, but they can keep a conversation alive for a long time. And while the other person is talking, you are also listening and learning new English. Let us imagine a simple conversation. Your friend says, "I went to a new restaurant yesterday." You do not need a complicated reply. You can say, "Really? Where was it?" Your friend answers. Then you can ask, "Was the food good?" After that, you can say, "I like trying new food too." Look at what happened. You used easy words, but the conversation continued naturally. This is the secret. Real conversations are often built from simple sentences connected together. Another thing you should learn is how to ask for help when you do not understand something. Some learners become embarrassed when they cannot understand a sentence. They smile, nod, and pretend they understand. Do not do this. It is completely normal to ask someone to repeat something. Say, "Sorry, can you say that again?" You can also say, "Please speak a little slowly," or "What does that word mean?" These sentences are not signs of weakness. They are useful communication skills. Even native speakers sometimes ask each other to repeat things. You should also stop worrying too much about your accent. You do not need to sound exactly like someone from America, England, Canada, or Australia. You need to speak clearly enough for people to understand you. Your accent is part of your voice. Work on pronunciation, yes, but do not wait until your pronunciation is perfect before speaking. Clear communication is more important than perfect imitation. Now here is a challenge that can change your confidence. The next time you have a chance to speak English, promise yourself that you will say at least 3 sentences. They do not have to be difficult. If someone asks, "How are you?" say, "I'm good. I had a busy day. Now I'm relaxing." 3 simple sentences. That is already a small conversation. Then, if you can, ask one question back. "How about you?" Now the conversation continues. Do this again and again. At first, 3 sentences may feel difficult. After some time, 5 sentences will feel easy. Then you may talk for 1 minute. Later, maybe 5 minutes. This is how speaking ability grows. It does not usually happen in one big jump. It grows through many small conversations. You can also prepare for common situations before they happen. If you know you are going to meet someone, think about a few sentences you may need. If you are going to a shop, practice sentences like, "How much is this? Do you have another size? Can I pay by card?" If you are meeting a new person, practice, "Nice to meet you. Where are you from? What do you do? How long have you been here?" Preparation makes real conversations much easier. But do not memorize every conversation like a robot. Learn useful patterns and then change them. For example, learn the pattern, "What do you think about underscore?" Then use it in many ways. "What do you think about this movie? What do you think about this idea? What do you think about learning English online?" One simple pattern can give you many real conversations. Here is something else you must remember. A successful English conversation does not mean you made 0 mistakes. A successful conversation means you communicated. Maybe your grammar was not perfect. Maybe you paused several times. Maybe you forgot a word. But if the other person understood you, and you understood them, you succeeded. That is real progress. Do not compare your beginning with someone else's advanced level. Maybe another learner speaks faster than you. That does not mean you are failing. Your job is to improve your own English. Yesterday you could speak for 10 seconds. Today, try 20 seconds. Last month you were afraid to ask a question. Today, ask one. These small wins matter. And there is one more powerful truth. The more real conversations you have, the less scary they become. Your first conversation may make your heart beat fast. Your 10th conversation will feel easier. Your 100th conversation may feel completely normal. Confidence is built through experience. So use simple words. Use short sentences. Ask questions. Add one more sentence. Ask people to repeat when necessary. Keep speaking even when the sentence is not perfect. The goal is not to impress people with difficult English. The goal is to connect with people. And if fear still stops you sometimes, do not worry. That is exactly what we will work on next. In the next chapter, you will learn how to speak English even when you feel nervous, shy, or afraid of making mistakes. Chapter 4. Speak even when you feel afraid. You now know how to use simple English in real conversations. You know that short sentences are enough. You know that you can ask questions, add one more sentence, and keep the conversation moving. But there is still one big problem that stops many learners. That problem is fear. You may know what you want to say, but when someone speaks to you in English, your heart starts beating faster. Your mind becomes confused. You begin thinking about grammar, pronunciation, and mistakes. Then you become silent. If this happens to you, remember one important thing. Fear does not mean you cannot speak English. Fear only means you need more practice speaking while you are afraid. Many learners think they must first remove their fear and then start speaking. But this is not how confidence works. Confidence usually comes after action. You speak while feeling nervous. Then you speak again. Then you speak one more time. Slowly, your brain starts learning that speaking English is not dangerous. The fear becomes smaller because you are proving to yourself that you can survive the situation. You may make mistakes, but nothing terrible happens. The conversation continues. Life continues. And every time you do this, you become stronger. Think about your first day at a new school, your first day at a new job, or the first time you tried something difficult. Maybe you felt nervous, but after doing it many times, it became normal. Speaking English works the same way. The first conversation may feel very difficult. The second conversation may still feel uncomfortable. But after many small conversations, something begins to change. You stop thinking so much. You start answering faster. You become less afraid of your own voice. One reason learners feel afraid is because they imagine that everyone is judging them. They think, what if this person notices my mistake? What if my pronunciation sounds strange? What if they laugh at me? These thoughts can become bigger than the real situation. Most people are not waiting for you to make a mistake. They are simply trying to understand you. And even if someone notices your mistake, that does not mean you have failed. You are learning another language. Mistakes are normal. Imagine you say, "Yesterday I go to the market." Then you remember the correct form. You can simply say, "Sorry, yesterday I went to the market." Then continue speaking. That is all. You do not need to stop the conversation. You do not need to feel embarrassed for 10 minutes. Correct yourself and move forward. This habit is very powerful. It teaches your brain that mistakes are small problems, not disasters. You should also stop trying to hide your accent. Every person has an accent. Even native English speakers have different accents. A person from London may sound different from someone from New York. Someone from Australia may sound different from someone from Canada. Your goal is not to sound exactly like another person. Your goal is to speak clearly enough to be understood. Yes, improve your pronunciation. Listen carefully. Repeat words. Practice sounds. But never tell yourself, "I cannot speak until my accent is perfect." Perfect pronunciation is not required for real communication. Here is a simple method I want you to try. I call it the small courage method. Do not force yourself to speak for 10 minutes if that feels impossible. Start with one sentence. Tomorrow, say 2 sentences. Then ask one simple question. After that, try a 30-second conversation. Small courage grows into big confidence. If you keep taking tiny steps, one day you will realize that the thing that once scared you has become normal. For example, if you meet someone who speaks English, do not pressure yourself to have a long conversation. Start with, "Hi, how are you?" The next time add, "How was your day?" Later say, "I'm learning English, so I'm trying to speak more." This sentence can also remove pressure because the other person understands that you are learning. You do not have to pretend to be perfect. Another useful trick is to prepare 1 or 2 sentences before a situation. If you know you are going to speak to someone, practice your first sentence. Your first sentence is often the hardest because fear is strongest before you begin. Once you start speaking, the next sentence becomes easier. And when your heart beats fast, do not tell yourself, "I am terrible at English." Tell yourself, "I am practicing courage." This changes the way you see the moment. You are not failing. You are training. Remember, every confident English speaker once had uncomfortable moments. They forgot words. They made mistakes. They felt nervous. But they did not stop forever. They kept going until speaking became easier. So make one brave decision today. Speak English before you feel ready. Say one sentence to someone, ask one question, record your voice, join a conversation. Do something small, but do it today. Fear becomes smaller when action becomes bigger. And once you stop letting fear control your voice, the next question becomes very important. How can you find the right words faster while speaking? In the next chapter, you will learn how to build ready-to-use English sentences that come to your mind quickly when you need them. Chapter 5. Build ready-to-use English sentences. You are now becoming braver. You are learning to speak even when you feel nervous. But there is another problem that many English learners face. Sometimes you want to speak, but the words do not come quickly. You know the meaning in your mind. You may even know the vocabulary, but your brain takes too long to build the sentence. You start thinking about grammar. You search for the right word. You translate from your first language. Then the moment is gone. This can be frustrating, but there is a simple way to fix it. Instead of learning only single words, start learning ready-to-use English sentences and sentence patterns. This can make your speaking much faster and much easier. Many learners spend a lot of time memorizing vocabulary lists. They learn words like prefer, decide, important, comfortable, experience, and improve. Knowing these words is useful, but a word alone is not always easy to use in a conversation. Your brain still needs to build a sentence around that word. But if you learn the word inside a useful sentence, you can use it much faster. For example, do not only learn the word prefer, learn, I prefer tea. I prefer working in the morning. Which one do you prefer? Now the word has a home. You know where it fits. You know how it sounds in a sentence. This makes speaking more natural. The same thing happens with common sentence patterns. Think about the pattern, I want to. This is a very simple pattern, but you can use it in hundreds of situations. I want to eat. I want to sleep. I want to learn English. I want to travel. I want to buy a new phone. I want to improve my speaking. You do not need to learn each sentence as a completely new sentence. You learn one pattern and then change the last part. This is one of the easiest ways to build speaking ability. Another useful pattern is, I need to. You can say, I need to work. I need to go home. I need to call my friend. I need to practice English. I need to wake up early tomorrow. Another pattern is, I'm trying to. You can say, I'm trying to learn English. I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to speak more confidently. When you learn these patterns, you are not memorizing one sentence. You are learning a tool that can create many sentences. Here is another important idea. Learn English that belongs to your life. Many learners memorize sentences that they will never use. They learn things like, the museum is located beside the railway station. But maybe they never talk about museums or railway stations. Instead, think about your daily life. What do you talk about every day? Your work? Your family? Your studies? Food? Shopping? Your plans? Your health? Your hobbies? Your phone? Your city? Learn sentences connected to these topics. For example, if you work in an office, you may need sentences like, I have a meeting today. I need to finish this work. Can you send me the file? I will check it later. If you are a student, you may need, I have a class today. I need to finish my homework. I don't understand this question. Can you explain it again? If you spend a lot of time at home, you may need, I am making lunch. I need to clean the room. Someone is at the door. I am going to rest for a while. This is useful English because it is connected to your real world. I want you to create something I call your personal English bank. This is simply a collection of sentences that you really want to use. You can keep them in a notebook or on your phone. Start with 20 sentences. Do not choose difficult sentences. Choose useful ones. For example, I'm not sure. Let me think. I'll do it later. I don't know yet. That sounds good. I agree with you. I don't think so. Can you help me? What do you mean? Please say that again. These sentences appear again and again in normal conversations. Now here is the important part. Do not only read these sentences, speak them, say them aloud. Your eyes need practice reading English, but your mouth needs practice speaking English. Take one sentence like, "Let me think about it." Say it slowly 5 times, then say it a little faster. Then imagine a situation where someone asks you a question. Answer, "Let me think about it." Now the sentence is not just something you have seen. It is becoming something you can actually use. Repetition is extremely important. Some learners are always searching for new vocabulary. Every day they want 50 new words, but they do not use the words they learned yesterday. This creates a big vocabulary inside the notebook, but a small vocabulary inside real conversation. It is better to know 100 useful sentences that you can use quickly than 1,000 sentences that you cannot remember when speaking. Think about a song you have heard many times. After listening to it again and again, you may remember some parts without trying. Why? Repetition made it familiar. English sentences can become familiar in the same way. If you say, "What do you think?" 20 or 30 times over several days, you will not need to build that sentence word by word. It will come as one complete piece. This is what you want. You want useful English to come out automatically. Here is a simple daily exercise. Every morning, choose 5 sentences. For example, I'm going to, I think, I don't know yet, can you help me, and it depends. Say each one several times, then create different examples. I'm going to work. I'm going to call my friend. I'm going to study tonight. For I think, say, I think it is good. I think we should go. I think he is busy. Do this for only 5 or 10 minutes. Then give yourself one mission. Use at least one of those sentences during the day. If you cannot use it with another person, use it while talking to yourself. The goal is to move English from your notebook into your mouth. You can also build ready sentences for different situations. For meeting someone new, prepare sentences like, "Nice to meet you. Where are you from? What do you do? How long have you been learning English?" For shopping, prepare, "How much is this? Do you have another size? Can I see that one? That is too expensive for me." For phone calls, prepare, "Can you hear me? The connection is not good. I'll call you back. Please give me a minute." When you prepare these sentences before the situation, something amazing happens. Your brain has less work to do. You do not have to invent every sentence in the moment. Some of the English is already ready. This gives you more confidence. But remember, do not become a robot. The goal is not to memorize one complete conversation and repeat it exactly. Learn flexible patterns. For example, learn, "Could you tell me?" Then change the ending. "Could you tell me the time? Could you tell me your name? Could you tell me where the station is?" One pattern becomes many sentences. Another powerful habit is to take one sentence and make 5 versions. Start with, "I like coffee." Change it to, "I like tea." "I like reading." "I like learning English." "I like walking in the evening." Then make it negative. "I don't like cold coffee." Then make it a question. "Do you like coffee?" This teaches your brain how English changes. It also gives you many useful sentences from one simple idea. And here is something important about fluency. Many people think fluent speakers are fast because they know every grammar rule. That is not the full reason. Fluent speakers are fast because thousands of common sentence parts are already familiar to them. Phrases like, "I don't know," I think so. What do you mean? Give me a second, and that makes sense. Come out quickly because they have used them many times. You can build the same ability. You do not need to learn everything at once. Start with the English you need most. Repeat it, use it, change it, make it part of your life. Your goal is simple: fewer words sitting silently in your notebook, and more sentences coming naturally from your mouth. And when you combine these ready-to-use sentences with good listening, your progress becomes even faster. In the next chapter, you will learn how to listen, copy, and repeat English in a way that trains your ears, your mouth, and your brain together. This is where your English can start sounding more natural. Chapter 6. Listen, copy, and speak. You have already started building useful sentences that you can use in real life. But if you want your English to become more natural, faster, and easier to understand, you need one more important habit. You need to listen carefully and copy the English you hear. Listening and speaking are connected. The more good English you hear, the easier it becomes for your brain to understand how English should sound. And when you repeat that English aloud, your mouth slowly learns how to produce the same sounds. This is why listening is not only for understanding. Listening can also train you to speak. Many learners spend hours listening to English, but they do it in a passive way. They watch videos, movies, or podcasts, but they never repeat anything. They understand some parts, miss other parts, and then move to the next video. This can help a little, but there is a much better way. Instead of listening to a lot of English without speaking, listen to a small amount and copy it. 1 minute of active listening can sometimes teach you more than 30 minutes of passive listening. Here is a very simple method. Listen to one short English sentence, pause the audio, repeat the sentence aloud, then listen again, repeat again. Try to copy not only the words, but also the speed, rhythm, and feeling. For example, you hear, "What are you doing today?" Pause. Say, "What are you doing today?" Listen again, repeat again. Do this 3 or 4 times, then move to the next sentence. Another sentence may be, "I'm not sure yet." Listen, pause, copy it. "I'm not sure yet." Then try to say it naturally without looking at the words. You can do the same with sentences like, "That sounds good." "Let me think about it." "I'll call you later." "I don't really know." "Can you help me?" These are short sentences, but they are very useful in real conversations. This method is often called shadowing. You hear English and copy it closely. But as a beginner, do not make it complicated. You do not need to speak at the exact same time as the speaker. First listen, then pause, then repeat. When you become more comfortable, you can try speaking almost at the same time as the audio. The goal is simple: train your ears and mouth together. Now here is something important. Do not choose English that is much too difficult for you. If you understand almost nothing, you may become tired and frustrated. Choose simple audio where you understand most of the message. You should hear some new words, but not so many that you feel lost. If the audio is too fast, slow it down if possible. There is no shame in learning slowly. Slow practice can create fast improvement. You should also listen to the same audio more than once. Many learners always want something new. A new video, a new lesson, a new podcast. But repetition is where a lot of learning happens. The first time, you may understand only the main idea. The second time, you notice more words. The third time, you hear how the speaker connects words. The fourth time, you may start copying the sentence more naturally. Repeating the same material gives your brain time to learn deeply. Here is another powerful technique. I call it hear it, copy it, change it. First, hear a sentence. I'm going to the supermarket. Then copy it. I'm going to the supermarket. After that, change one part. I'm going to the office. I'm going to school. I'm going home. I'm going to the bank. Now you are not only copying, you are creating your own English. Let us try another example. You hear, I had a busy day. First copy it. I had a busy day. Then change it. I had a good day. I had a difficult day. I had a long day. I had a relaxing day. One sentence has now given you many new sentences. This is how you turn listening into speaking. Do not forget to use your voice. Some learners repeat sentences only inside their minds. Thinking is useful, but speaking aloud is different. Your tongue, lips, jaw, and breathing need practice too. English has sounds and movements that may be different from your first language. Your mouth needs time to get comfortable with them. This is why speaking aloud is so important. You can also record your voice. Choose one short sentence from a video. Listen to the original speaker. Then record yourself saying the same sentence. Listen to both. Do not judge yourself harshly. Just notice one small difference. Maybe your sentence is too slow. Maybe one word is unclear. Maybe your stress is different. Fix one thing and record it again. This small exercise can improve your pronunciation very quickly over time. But remember, your goal is not to become a copy of another person. You do not need a perfect American or British accent. Your goal is clear, natural speech. You want people to understand you easily. Copying helps you learn rhythm and pronunciation, but your voice can still be your own. Try a simple 10-minute practice. For the first 3 minutes, listen to short English sentences. For the next 3 minutes, pause and repeat them. For the next 2 minutes, change the sentences and make your own examples. For the final 2 minutes, speak freely using some of the expressions you practiced. 10 minutes may not sound like much, but if you do this every day, think about what happens after 1 month. That is hours of focused listening and speaking practice. Your ears become faster. Your mouth becomes more comfortable. Common sentences begin to feel familiar. You start understanding spoken English more easily, and your own speaking starts becoming smoother. Do not only collect English, use it, hear it, copy it, change it, speak it. This is how English moves from someone else's voice into your own voice. And now you are ready for the final step. You know how to speak before you feel perfect. You know how to talk to yourself. You know how to use simple English with other people. You know how to fight fear, build useful sentences, and learn from listening. In the final chapter, you will put all of these habits together and learn how to make English part of your daily lifestyle, so speaking English becomes something natural instead of something you force yourself to do. Chapter 7. Make English your daily lifestyle. You have now learned many powerful ways to improve your English speaking. You know that you should not wait until your English is perfect. You know how to talk to yourself, how to use simple English in real conversations, how to speak even when you feel afraid, how to build useful sentences, and how to learn by listening and repeating. But now comes the most important part. You need to make English part of your daily life. English should not be something you study for 30 minutes and then forget for the rest of the day. If you really want to speak English naturally, you need to meet English again and again during your normal day. Start in the morning. When you wake up, do not immediately think about grammar books or difficult lessons. Just say a few simple sentences. Good morning. I feel tired today. I need to get ready. I have a lot of work today. I want to have a good day. These simple sentences are enough. You are telling your brain, English is part of my life. You are starting your day with speaking, not just studying. While you are getting ready, continue using small English sentences. I am brushing my teeth. I am looking for my phone. I need to leave soon. When you eat breakfast, say, the tea is hot. I am hungry. I like this food. You do not need to speak every second. The goal is simply to create small English moments throughout the day. During the afternoon, try to listen to a little English. Maybe you have 5 minutes while traveling, walking, or taking a break. Listen to a short video or audio. Choose 1 or 2 useful sentences and repeat them. Then try to use one of those sentences later. If you hear, I'm a little busy right now, repeat it several times. Then when you are working, say it to yourself, I'm a little busy right now. This connects listening with real life. You can also create an English first habit. When you want to say something, do not immediately translate from your first language. Give your brain a few seconds. Ask yourself, can I say this in English? Maybe the sentence will be very simple. That is fine. Suppose you want to say that you are exhausted after work. Maybe you do not know the word exhausted. You can simply say, I am very tired. Simple English is still English. Use what you know. At night, spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about your day. You can say, today was busy. I went to work. I talked to my friend. I learned 3 new sentences. I was tired in the evening, but I still practiced English. This simple habit is powerful because you are using past tense, daily vocabulary, and real memories. You are not speaking about an imaginary textbook situation. You are speaking about your own life. Now I want you to remember something very important. Your progress will not feel the same every day. Some days, English will feel easy. Words will come quickly. You will feel confident. On another day, you may forget a very simple word. You may feel slow. You may think, why is my English bad today? Do not panic. This happens to every learner. Learning is not a straight road. Some days are good. Some days are difficult. What matters is that you continue. Do not ask yourself every morning, am I fluent yet? That question can make you frustrated. Ask better questions. Did I speak English today? Did I learn one useful sentence? Was I a little less afraid than last month? Can I speak longer than before? These questions help you see real progress. Maybe today you can speak for 30 seconds. After 1 month, maybe you can speak for 2 minutes. Maybe last month you were afraid to answer a simple question, but now you can answer and ask another question back. That is progress. Do not ignore small improvement. Small improvement repeated every day becomes something very big. And please do not compare yourself with someone who has been learning English for 5 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. Your journey is your journey. Your speed does not matter as much as your direction. If you keep moving forward, you are winning. There will also be moments when you feel embarrassed. Maybe you use the wrong word. Maybe someone corrects you. Maybe your pronunciation is not clear. Do not let one small moment stop a big dream. Say thank you for the correction. Learn from it. Then keep speaking. One mistake should never be stronger than your desire to improve. Remember the main message of this entire video. Always try to talk in English. Talk when you are alone. Talk when you are walking. Talk when you are cooking. Talk with friends when you get the chance. Talk slowly. Talk with simple words. Talk even when you make mistakes. Your English does not need to be beautiful every time. It needs to be used. Fluency is not one magical day when you suddenly wake up and speak perfect English. Fluency is built quietly. It is built when you say one sentence in the morning. It is built when you repeat a sentence from a video. It is built when you ask someone a question even though you feel nervous. It is built when you forget a word but continue speaking. Thousands of these small moments slowly create a confident speaker. So start today, not next Monday, not next month, not when your grammar becomes perfect. Start with the English you have right now. Your first sentence may be simple. Your voice may be nervous. That does not matter. Every time you speak, you are becoming stronger. You do not become a speaker by only studying speaking. You become a speaker by speaking. So keep listening, keep learning, keep making mistakes, keep improving, and most importantly, keep talking in English every single day.